Oh, okay, here we are. So once again, labdien, ladies and gentlemen. And this is it, what I can speak in Latvian. So in the first place, I'd like to apologize that I will use English. I would like to talk about trends in e-commerce from global perspective, from European perspective, and from perspective of country of origination of Gamius, so Poland. That might be interesting for you as potential export direction. In the first place, let me tell you a couple of words about our company. Gamius is a leader in EMEA region, so in whole Eastern Europe, Middle East, and Africa, Northern Africa, in website measurement, mainly in audience measurement. We are mainly tracking what is happening on internet, and thanks to our expertise tools, we are giving conclusions to our client how to take right business decisions based on data we are collecting. So in general now, merging this research and solutions, we are giving consultancy. Now we have over 350 employees. We are acting in over 25 markets. Here in Latvia, we have also local office. So if you have any questions, you can contact Gamius Latvia for further cooperation. But let's move on to the presentation. Let's have a couple of introductory slides about that I found in the internet that are, in my opinion, quite interesting. We are so to give the first background to our discussion about trends. We are among top developed countries when it comes to internet usage, when it comes to availability of this medium to our society. So here, this organic growth of e-commerce will this factor of organic growth of e-commerce will be slowing down, but there is still huge potential, what I will show on other slides. But let's have a quick look what is happening when it comes to most popular sites in around the world. Google rules, and it's not accidental that I'm showing this slide, because Google has huge impact on e-commerce worldwide, and I will give you few tips in the further part of the presentation. Interesting from this slide is that Japanese people loved Yahoo. Don't know why. This is the only region that is first, the most attended site is Yahoo. Chinese and Koreans like Baidu, but whole Western Europe and United States, first the most attended page is Google. Second, usually Facebook, and here it's dark. Here it's not. Dragiem, yes, it's the most popular social network in Latvia. Google, among browsers, Google also rules, and it's in Latvia Chrome is the most popular browser, but in Poland we are more stuck to Firefox, as the same as Germans. To close this introduction, these are microfibers that are making this whole global world together and allowing us to have this flow of information and make this global village out of international market. In 60 seconds in internet, there is thousands of transactions. Only Amazon in 60 seconds is generating $83,000. In 60 seconds, over 1.8 million likes are generated on Facebook. In 60 seconds, Google noticed over 2 million searches. So it's a really huge mass of information that is happening every minute. And this is how it looks 43 years ago. So not so long time ago. This is so irritating. Sorry, guys. This was internet in 1969. So if you ask yourself question whether to track trends, be updated, follow the leading markets, this is the answer. We are in really changing environment, and without following the leaders, we can be easily peripherized. Yes, so especially such a small market as Latvia is in higher risk that is out of the main flow of internet. Here, like huge investors sometimes are not so interested in entering this market because 2 million people might be not alluring enough, yes, to open local office and to start business here. But from your perspective, this is huge chance because you have less competitors and you have open doors for export to Western Europe, and but you should track what is happening there. But let's see what is happening there in numbers first. In general, Europe is leading when it comes to this continental division of e-commerce. Europe is generating over 300 billion euros of revenue from B2C e-commerce. Europe is followed by North America, then Asia and Pacific, and then Latin America and MENA region. That is generating only 5% of total sales in e-commerce. When it comes to country division per country, USA is the global leader with over 250 billion euros of total revenue only in B2C, not counting B2B, where leader is China with Alibaba portal. When it comes to details, in Europe there is over 800 million people. Already 529 million are using internet, have access and are actively using internet, and half of them are already buying online. So this is huge. In Poland, this rate is now more or less average. In all Western markets like UK, Germany, already 70, 80, 90% are buying online. So here is the span for this organic growth. When it comes to mobile generated sales, it contributes only to 5.5% of the value. So this buzzword, mobile, M-commerce, and so on, it's more buzzword than the real effect on the market. Of course, it's growing, but it's a low base, and still it's not generating big value for e-commerce in general. And there is nothing more to do than just adjust your website and build application if your business is more about loyalty and repeating buying actions. Average European spends over 1,200 euros per year for internet shopping. In CE region, it's more or less 3 to 4 times less. So around 400, 300 euros we are spending in this region yearly. So again, huge span. Of course, it will go with economic growth, but in general, we are chasing Western markets. From best performing markets, only these 3 biggest markets in Europe, UK, Germany, and France, are generating over 60% of total sales in whole Europe. But Poland and Latvia are among leaders of growth. And if we see also who is the leader of growth, Turkey, of course, with over 75%, but Greece, despite the crisis, e-commerce in Greece boosted by over 60%. And it shows one important factor why people decide to buy online, because it's cheaper, yes, because it's more convenient, and because it's time saving, and time equals money. So Greece in deep crisis went for online shopping. How it looks in Poland? In Poland, over 70% of people are visiting e-commerce section of the website. Around 50% are actively buying through the internet. Trend is still growing. When it comes to most attractive, most visited type of portals, on number one are auctions platform. And if you want to open auction in Poland, I would not recommend this, because there is one leader, Allegro, that didn't even allow eBay, a big player, to take the market, to take the part of this cake. So looking on auctions platform, we mean just Allegro in Poland, that contributes the same number of sales and visitors as e-shops. Then it's followed by price comparison portals and group buying portals, like Groupon, for example, that decreased dramatically over last 2 years. Boost on this group buying, this hype for group buying portals is already over. I know that again, Draugiem has here some group buying portal, and what is good, they are, as far as I know, they're building quite loyalty among these users by giving quality. What was problematic in Groupon business model, instead of bringing people that will be loyal to these merchants offering goods through the group buying portal, they start alluring people that are looking for cheap things and for occasions that are completely not loyal, and it affected quality of the services, and the business model collapsed. And it's visible. They have much less visitors and much less transactions than 2 years ago when they were booming. From interesting facts, when we look on the... Shit, I cannot, sorry. Excuse me. I will be speaking like this, or maybe this. Can you hear me? No. Okay, here we go. Sorry. From interesting facts, if you look on the categories that are most popular in not mature markets, we are always starting from electronics, home appliances, devices, etc. So, and then when market got major, clothing and fashion becomes to be the most popular category, and it already happened in Poland last year, exactly in the middle of the year. Clothing industry overcame electronics and home appliances because of big brands that came to the market. Big brands, I mean mainly Zalando, but also a couple of other international players like Sarenza or Polish big player Answer.com, supported by MCA venture capital fund. They are really fighting for this really rapidly growing market. As far as I know, here still fashion is not so popular. There are a couple of closed buying zones, like buying clubs where you can submit and buy some clothes, but it's still not so popular as in Western Europe. So here, I think there is still space. If you want to go to Poland, for example, and start doing your business in Poland, you have to take under consideration one specific of the market. We are one of the rare markets where we really don't use credit cards. I don't know why, just we don't use credit cards. It's marginal in comparison to normal bank transfer or this payment methods like supported bank transfer by some middleman that is making it more fluent. This is much more popular than just than credit card. So if you open e-shop in Poland, this is good hint to start cooperation with these payment providers. In Eastern market and in Eastern Europe, much more popular than in Western Europe are payments on delivery. Again, market maturity. We are not mature enough. We are not. We are suspicious that we will be cheated. That someone will send us brick instead of some device that we ordered, and it's visible especially in Poland and in Ukraine. Let's now take a look on trends on e-commerce through the prism of buzzwords. There is many fancy slogans that are appearing on many conferences. I tried to analyze them and look deeper what they actually mean and if they are just temporary hypes or really long-term trends. So these are some of them. In my opinion, the most important, the most often appearing. Let's take a look about this phrase "content is the king," and this is connected firmly with Google supremacy in e-commerce and this big power that Google has on the market. If you want to win in search engine, you have to bet on good qualified content. Why? Because this is number of inquiries we put all together to Google. In 1998 it was just 25 millions, and now it's over 30 trillions inquiries, and it causes biggest mess and problem of redundancy and spam, thousands of articles with this copy pasted, lack of unique content, and Google has to somehow solve this problem. So Google is changing algorithms all the time. This is how they changed algorithms in the beginning of 2008. Only 2 changes of algorithms, and then they were changing, and this algorithm like Panda, Penguin, and so on. And here in 2012 we have a whole zoo of these funny names. So basically they are changing algorithms all the time. And this SEO companies that are optimizing our traffic, doing best to make the site more attractive to Google bots, are more and more often promising something that they cannot really deliver. The times of artificial SEO positioning, supporting your websites with external links, not quality links, or just building nice structure of the website, it's not enough anymore. Now the most important factor is content. And what does it mean actually, this good content? So if you have poor content, you will be exactly kicked out by some Panda or Penguin algorithm. But let's answer this couple of questions. Is this content trustworthy? Is this content unique? Is the website trustworthy enough so I will pass my credit card number there? And it should be like our own personal feeling, because if we put ourselves into shoes of these Google engineers that are thinking over what to do so this algorithm is perfect, they are trying to translate like people's needs, what people are looking for. Of course, underneath it's hidden their will to make money out of AdWords and so on. But in general, all actions are aimed to make it work, work just correct for normal people. So if we, a couple of years ago, if we could build a website and just send thousands of links to some weird servers, even in China, and it was supporting our traffic and our position in Google search, now it's not anymore. Would you name this page a content creator? Is the content unique? Or this content is just copy-paste. If we are having thousands of products, it's really tough work, but it's better to employ someone and really make the unique descriptions of the product, not copy-paste from any catalog, because it's affecting our search result. Would you ask this site to favorite, recommend to a friend, share? These are also important factors. So all these social media buttons, if they are working, if you are appearing on Facebook, if you are appearing on Google, if you are appearing on Pinterest, but not appearing, and again, social media agency can build nice stories about influence of social media on sales. But in general, if you are really not popular, if you are really not likable, and if you are really not shared by these people, and if you can put yourself into shoes of these visitors, and you can imagine that half of 90% of this traffic is just artificial. You bought this likes or this fan database of fan. It's not worth anything. So you should really, that's why Facebook can sell, Pinterest can sell, but in branches that are cool for people, that could be somehow connected with this community that you are creating. Otherwise, it's not no go, and it's lost of time and money to even act on Facebook or Pinterest. So solve real people problems and make their life easier. Engage with the users. Become a brand. This is the most obvious, but the hardest and most expensive. If you want to generate direct traffic, you have to invest a lot of time and effort to become a brand, to become recognized, to become expert in your topic. If you have, and the more market is competitive, the more this trend is visible. It's visible also in branches that are somehow limited when it comes to advertising, online, offline advertising. We see this perfectly on Polish market of e-pharmacies, where they are limited, they cannot advertise, and the biggest pharmacies are building around their e-pharmacy such information portal. So whatever you would put there, I don't know, I have leg ache, stomach ache, headache, whatever ache you have, you will find information there. So if you sell clothes, it's good to make some blog, some portal, some information about trends, fashion, and so on. Be with the users, not blah blah about products that you have, because it's not the point, and it's not interesting. So don't think short term. This time's just passed away, and if it's still on some market, it's gonna pass away because it's so visible. We have to build long-term strategy to bound this relation between us and client. Social commerce. How it looks in number. On average, reach of social networks is over 50%, so pretty high. What is more important for e-commerce? What is the share in sharing e-commerce content? And here, quite interesting thing. First time ever, Pinterest overcame Facebook with 41% towards 37% on Facebook. And again, who can promote effectively on Pinterest? Who has fancy, cool, fashionable, modern, interesting content? Because if you have store with I don't know, some special electronic devices that are not interesting for anyone, like, I don't know, something very, or I don't know, pipes for plumbers or tools. You cannot put it on Pinterest and be happy. But if you, let's say, imagine that you can organize some photo session with some models keeping these tools, then yes, it would work. So this is how social networks work. Question also if it will sell. But here the same slide that was shown by a friend that was presenting here a couple minutes ago, couple of words of explanations here. This was the question: have you ever purchased an item either in store or online after you shared or favored it on social network? So this was typical declarative research. And this was research run by some social media agency that had some thesis and wanted to prove this and ask this question this way. So it will show let's say the thesis is right. Our site-centric researchers, when we are looking on the real connection between social media and e-shop, are showing that it's not so relevant. Social media is still more for building loyalty and for building brand awareness, if run correctly, of course, than for direct sales. We are observing fan pages and have scripted web shops that have base of fans over 300,000, for example, over 500,000, and traffic from social media and effective traffic from social media to this website is very marginal. So it's really hard to build effective social fan page, but it's possible. Within some limits and definition of this coolness, let's say. I would stick to this opinion. M-commerce, is it a buzzword or is it really some long-term trend? I would say both things are correct. In Europe, 5.5% of total value is generated by mobile. But again, this question in our market in Poland, it's just 1.7%. In Latvia, it's probably up to 3%. So it's still marginal. Although it's worth to prepare mobile website, mobile adjusted website, and mobile application. But then the question: when to invest in application? I told it once. I will repeat. When you have repeating and loyal clients that are buying over and over. For example, you are selling groceries over internet. Then its application is useful. It helps with navigation. It brings just comfort to the users, yes. And but when you are selling goods like fashion, it's usually more converting is mobile type of website. This is how it looks in trend. Of course, if we see on legend on the left axis, we see that this is 97% decrease to 94%, and here growth is from 3 to 6% over last 2 years. So growth is dynamic, but still it's marginal. And now, in my opinion, the biggest buzzword, it appears almost on every conference, everywhere where we are present, big data. What actually is this big data, and what it connects? If we see this chart, it looks like big data is connecting all other buzzwords like benchmarking, analytics, integrated marketing, marketing automation, personalizations, programmatic media buying, or segmentation and recommendation. And this is talked over and over again in e-commerce, but what actually is big data? Big data is, and first time term of big data appeared 2001 by Gartner Institute, and then it was quite silent, nothing happened, and then in 2008 it appeared to be a buzzword again, and it's very, very popular. Why so? Because it came crisis, storage is much cheaper, so we can store huge numbers of petabytes of information, and we got mature enough to develop tools to extract from this data. Now we are on the moment of the market development that gathering more data is not so important. We should look what we have now, to what data we have access now, and how to extract the correct information to take right business conclusions. So big data is in e-commerce. It's mainly about finding right consumer, connecting it with the right offer through the right channel in the right moment to optimize effectiveness on whichever state of consumer life cycle this consumer or this business is, whether we are in the process of acquisition, upselling, or building loyalty. So prime goal of big data, in other words, is segmentation. First and most similar, most simple type of segmentation is segmentation by value. This is the beginning of work with bigger clients with our advanced web analytics packages that we are serving with consultancy. We are first analyzing value of the client, life cycle, time and value of the customers, and then concentrating on different segments. If client is a so-called low profile client, we are just optimizing cost. When client is in this middle range, we are introducing this life cycle management. We are doing further segmentation. When client is from the high value clients, we are putting more stress on building better relation with such client. This is client that we, according to, let's say, simplified Pareto rule, this 20% of the client will contribute to 80% of our business. So it's really worth to work with these clients more one-on-one. Some of them might be so. Also, further segmentation is needed. So might be not engaged just rich buyers that are buying expensive products and don't care. Some might be gadget maniacs and might be very interested in some kind of content that we can deliver. It's good to check and build long-term relation with such client. Another example of big data analysis is, for example, share of wallet. So thanks to this big data collections, we can assume whether this specific segment of client, what kind of share of wallet he is spending on our website. If this client spends, for example, on telco services, €200 or €50 a month, and we know that by this big data assumptions and predictions that on total market he's spending over €200, we know that it's worth to fight for such client. We know that there is still €150 in his budget that he spends on telco, for example, having business phone on some other operator. So this is very important, and we are able to do this nowadays. Another interesting trend, actually, I would not say that it's not started partially by my organization, by Gemius. This is benchmarking analytics in e-commerce. What we are doing till now on publishing markets, we are making market more transparent. We are giving insights how your you are standing against competitors. In e-commerce, people are not ready to share data about their transaction. So model we built is protecting data of specific e-shop, putting it to aggregation, so specific e-shop can compare its result on every possible measure, web analytics and transactional data, to average result from whole market. This is not a kind of good benchmark, but also from specific branch, and further on the tree of category to the product level. So we can check what is effectiveness of generating what is effectiveness of traffic generated, for example, through search engines on the category, let's say t-shirts, yes, or on specific product against competitive environment. Till now, every context of analysis was historical context, whether we are worse or better than in previous periods. Now we have additional context, competitive context, and this is very interesting. And first benchmarks we were managed to gather. This is actually fashion industry, so it might be not so interesting because I heard from previous presentation that no one here is from fashion industry. Although in fashion industry in Poland we managed to gather the number of e-shops that let us to do aggregation big enough to protect specific players and to be representative for whole market. And this is what it comes. We can say that average conversion rate in fashion in Poland in January 2014 was almost 1%. Client conversion rate, so visitor to client, order conversion rate is visit to visit that end up with order. And client conversion rate is visitor to change to client. When it comes to shopping cart, this is cart start rate was 2.63%, but very high cart abandonment rate. What shows that probably especially ladies are treating e-shop as kind of fitting place, so they are picking put a lot of stuff to the basket and then resigning from transaction, or maybe coming back with another visit. Cart abandonment rate in fashion is still relatively high. Also, a factor that influence this number is fact that not every player is informing enough about this, that client can give back product without giving any reason, yes? So people are sometimes afraid. Another fact that client is not informed well about cost of transportation. So sometimes it's surprised and just leave the basket. So if we are running business in e-commerce, it's important to inform client on every stage about this right of giving back product and about cost of transportation. Otherwise, they will jump out of this buying funnel. When it comes to traffic itself, average user spends around 7 minutes and making 7 page views and generating pretty low bounce rate of 39%. It means that in fashion it's very popular. This remarketing. People are coming back to the e-shops that they already know, so they know what to expect, and they're just not leaving after first page view. When it comes to value, if you divide this PLNs by 4, you have euro more or less. So average order value was over let's say 65 euros. Client value slightly more. So it means that one client generated more than one transaction over the researched month. Average number of order was 2. And here comes this recommendation engines. If we are going to traditional stores, we are especially in fashion, is visible. What is sold, what is selling the most, what is on this mannequin, yes, on this doll. It appears the most alluring because it shows some combination that we like. And in e-shops, it affects two fields. Product exposition, so product should be shown this way that it makes some whole picture. Maybe it's not just the one product, maybe it goes together with something else. Especially in the shopping cart, we can upsell giving complementary goods. If we are selling TV, let's suggest 3D glasses. If we are selling shoes, let's suggest extra laces. It costs us nothing. If client will be not interrupted and will not be forced to leave the basket, but just by one click he will add this small product next to these shoes, for example, next to this TV. Of course, this complementary product should be cheaper than this main product that he put to the basket. But that's why we should use this intelligent, personalized recommendation systems. And let's talk briefly about recommendation system, because I know that it's not so popular in Latvian market, and this is one of the things that should be popular actually, and I don't understand why they are not. Recommendation engine is all about connecting specific client with specific product through the algorithm of artificial intelligence that is tracking such things as this specific user behavior, his path in the e-shop, other users' behavior that are similar to this user. So in all fields, for example, price preferences, products preferences, some clusters that are interesting for these users. And this specific user that is buying at the moment is giving some product proposals that are most probable to attract him by this algorithm, yes? So we are actually connecting thousands of products in our database with thousands of customers that are visiting our website and matching them together, making this probability that they will find what they are looking for faster, in more comfortable way, and more effective. And this proves that it raised conversion rate by over 20%. And so it's not only increasing total sales in eShop, but it's also increasing cart value, at least by this logic that I mentioned already, by proposing these complementary products, for example. It boosts customer loyalty because clients are not so irritated anymore. They are not served with thousands of products that are not interesting for them. If they want to search, they are not limited. They still can take paths that are not suggested to them, but on the product page, on the category page, they are given some set of products that might be more interesting for them. And it's not only about website, it could be also about email, because it's not a problem to put this frame for our mailings, to enrich our mailing with personal recommendation. So mail will be not only personalized by saying, hello Mateusz, this is special offer, but hello Mateusz, this is special offer for you. And recommendation frame giving products that might be interesting for me, based on my history, based on my preferences, and based on users that are similar to me somehow. Recommendation system also helps with retargeting campaigns, and here the newest trend is to cross recommendation with retargeting, global retargeting. So thanks to these systems, we can launch a campaign with not with banner, with creative that is static, but with dynamic creative that is based on, again, on this user preferences. So on some publishers' website, user will not see any normal banner, just brand building or reach building campaign, but user will see a recommendation frame with nice, of course, nicely done in some layout of banner, but showing products of his preferences, and this is much better than normal usual retargeting campaign. What's more, it can go to Google Display Network, it can go to other publisher websites, so there is plenty of possibilities how to use this. These systems are allowing to track statistics and check how effective was this recommendation frame, and implement manual adjustment, more complementary, more alternative products, define the range, exclude some products. For example, we have producer that we are supplier that we are in not good relation with, yes, and we have low margin on these products. These products are nice to have in our e-shop, but we are not earning on them so much. So we want to exclude this. We don't want to promote extra this supplier. So we are excluding this supplier from recommendation. We can exclude also some category because we don't want to, I don't know, promote erotic products on the main page because it's not allowed, for example. So we are excluding this category from recommendation, and so on and so on. So it gives plenty of possibilities, but in the end, it has to bring value for the e-shop. So the model that you can find on the market of this personalized recommendations is like this: that you are given free trial for 1 month. To check if the system is working. If not, you are not interested. If it brings you value, you are paying, of course, less than it contributes to your sales. That's why it's so popular on Western markets. And hopefully it will also boost your businesses. Okay. If you have any questions, please ask. If you want to start cooperation with Gamius or want to discuss opportunities on the local market, I want just to briefly introduce Linda Egel. That is our country. Linda, could you please stand up for a second? This is our country manager in Latvia. Here you have contact to Linda, and below. And if you have any questions regarding this personalized recommendation or any tool or any data we can share with you, we would be more than happy. So this is it. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Varbūt bija kāds jautājums. Vienam mums ir laiks. Then I will ask, you show a lot of figures, digits, so it's completely impossible to remember everything. So what would be like 3 things? What would you say, what would we remember and take with us home? What would be 3 most important things you should suggest to e-commerce sites? What should they do?
They should observe trends and follow the trends, but not in a stupid manner, not just blindly following the market leaders, but discover their own way how to use tools and that they have within their reach to boost their potential. I would say be more, go for export and look openly to the Western markets, because it's not possible to build long-run business in such a small market. Sooner or later, these big players will build this economy of scale in this region, and they will expand also to Latvia. And this is just a matter of time where you will see big players especially in fashion industry, in electronics, and so on. So it's good to or then specialize in some field and give extra value to your clients by being very specialized and narrowing your scope of activities, or to act now when you have time to expand, not be happy that you are growing, because you are growing like whole market and you are growing by 25%, and sometimes you're approached by by some companies that are showing you what is happening on Western markets. You are so-called fed and happy. Yes, you are not willing to chase for opportunities because market is growing and you are growing with the market. But question is how long it will last. Yes, and if it's better to predict and go with the trend, or to wake up one day and be already behind some market leaders with huge capital. So this is the most important message, I would say.